What happens if an S-tier assassin disguises themselves as the weakest in a military school? Let's jump right in. Idea is like the very core of a person's spirit. After a while, humans realized Idea existed, and they started turning it into real things. People also began giving ranks to Idea, which are the souls. Before, all souls were equal, but now they're ranked. This causes a lot of discrimination and hate towards those with lower ranks. Hyundai Special High School became a place to train and improve Idea, making the country of Korea stronger in the world. Lots of other schools did the same thing. At these schools, students had amazing powers that made them different from normal people. One student named Park Jin-sung stood out, but not for good reasons. He had the lowest rank possible, F. His classmates were mean to him, and it seemed like they hated even being in the same class as him. One day, the teacher had good news. The government noticed how well the third-year students were doing, so the school would become a military place. The students and teachers would get ranks, and the military would look for really good people to join them. If the students didn't like this change, they could go to a different school. The students were curious about why the school was changing. The teacher explained that their school was becoming military because of how amazing the third-year students were. They all had to take a test to get a rank, and their teacher, who was now a platoon leader, would test them. Everyone was starting as a private, except Jin-sung. He had to start as a trainee soldier because his teacher thought he was too weak. CH2. Jin-sung's teacher and classmates didn't think he could handle the tough military school. They wanted him to leave. They thought he wouldn't make it. Even his teacher asked if he wanted to transfer, but Jin-sung believed in himself, even though they laughed at him. He asked his teacher if there were ranks in a person's soul, and the teacher said yes. Even though the teacher laughed deep down, he thought all souls were the same. Jin-sung was put in a squad led by Byun-gi-young. People treated Jin-sung badly, even his own squad leader. But Jin-sung didn't let it bother him. He was used to it. The teacher said they wouldn't have a normal class. Instead, they would do an event to impress the scouts from the government. They had a big battle between different squads. Jin-sung's second-year squad had to fight against the best third-year squad. Gi-young was feeling a mix of surprise and fear when he learned that they would have to compete against the best students in the school. Everyone, including Gi-young himself, thought they didn't stand a chance, especially with Jin-sung, an F-rank student, on their team. Gi-young's spirits were low, and he got upset with Jin-sung. When Jin-sung stood up for himself, Gi-young's anger grew, and he decided to use Jin-sung as a shield during the upcoming event. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. What is the best ability class? This means classes like Assassin, Warrior, etc. Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now back to the recap TH3. The third-year students, led by Sung-ho, the top-performing student in the school, were all set for the event. Their teacher encouraged Sung-ho to showcase his skills to catch the eye of scouts. Each student received a special bracelet that used Air power to protect them from shocks. However, these bracelets had limits. They could only take so much damage before breaking. If a student's bracelet broke, they were out of the event. The team that managed to eliminate all opponents would win. Gi-young's second-year squad had a tougher challenge. They only needed to survive for 5 minutes to win, but even that seemed like a big task against their highly skilled opponents. Even before the event began, the second-year students were lacking confidence. As the event started, Gi-young immediately retreated to the back with Jin-sung, leaving their squad to fend off the third years on their own. The third years launched a strong attack and began taking out the second-year students one by one. Julie, one of the third-year students, targeted Jin-sung and Gi-young. Helpless, they watched as Julie approached. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Jin-sung reacted swiftly to Julie's movements and dodged her attack. She was surprised by this, and quickly summoned an Idea armor to protect herself. She couldn't help but wonder if Jin-sung's earlier behavior was just an act, as he had reacted perfectly to Julie's speed. Taking advantage of the situation, Gi-young fled to save himself. Now alone, Jin-sung realized his only chance was to stall for the remaining 3 minutes. He tried to distract Julie by talking, but she demanded that he fight. He attempted to avoid fighting by asking her to calm down, but this only made her angrier. With no other choice, Jin-sung finally revealed his weapon, a regular dagger with no special abilities. Julie was surprised and disappointed, realizing she was up against the rumored F-rank student. She chose to walk away, not wanting to waste time on a weak opponent. Frustrated by her reaction, Jin-sung decided to launch a sneak attack with his dagger, hoping to turn the situation around. However, as anticipated, the F-rank today proves inadequate, failing even to make a dent on her armor. CH4 Jin-sung's classmates start teasing him again, and even Julie seems let down by his performance. She had hoped for more, having witnessed his quick reflexes. Nevertheless, he managed to buy some time, and now there are only 2 minutes left on the clock. Now, the third-year student shifts her attention to Guillaume, who spent the entire fight evading. He appeared scared, but it turns out he had a plan. Guillaume employs his idea on a large boulder buried beneath the ground. Jin-sung appears to understand powers, warning Julie just as he activates his ability called Extract and Swing. With this power, he can use objects stuck in place as weapons, flinging them at his enemy. Following suit, Guillaume uproots the massive boulder from the ground and hurls it towards Julie with surprising speed. However, his triumph is short-lived as the other squad leader, who ambushes him, takes him down with ease. Meanwhile, Julie deploys her Edea to create a shield, attempting to halt the boulder. Unfortunately, it proves stronger than she anticipated. While Julie struggles to fend off the boulder, Sungo shatters the massive rock into fragments using his idea, upsetting Julie as she wanted to display her strength to the scouts. Sungo explains that his actions were meant to assist her, as it's his duty as the squad leader to protect all team members. As they continue their interaction, Guillaume suddenly attempts to strike Seon-ho with a baseball bat. Sungo swiftly teleports behind him using his idea and employs martial arts to take him down. His ability, called I'll Definitely Catch You, allows him to teleport instantly towards his intended target. With Ji-young defeated, Jin-sung remains as the sole second-year student. Sungo shifts his focus to him. Jin-sung begins to panic, trying to surrender. Sungo, however, refuses to end the contest without a fight. He attacks Jin-sung, knocking the dagger out of his hand. Surprisingly, Jin-sung catches the dagger with his other hand while it's still in the air and attempts to attack Sung-ho. Taken aback by this unexpected move, Sung-ho backs away and questions Jin-sung's true identity. Jin-sung tries to buy more time by engaging Sung-ho in conversation, hoping to stall for the remaining minute. However, Sung-ho sees through Jin-sung's strategy and confronts him, questioning his lack of effort. Sung-ho reveals that students who perform poorly might get transferred to a different school. Fearing this transfer, Jin-sung decides to fight seriously for the first time. He activates his Edea called Absolute Murder, enveloping himself in a dark aura. This ability triples his physical strength and allows him to identify his opponent's weaknesses and their tactics. To turn it off, he needs to destroy the enemy's Edea or kill them. CH5. In a surprising twist, we finally learn that Jin-sung's true Edea is an S-rank named Absolute Murder. Sung-ho is stunned by Jin-sung's ability to instantly identify the rank of his Edea. The atmosphere changes dramatically as Jin-sung's demeanor becomes dark and menacing, as if he wanted to kill Sung-ho. The spectators, unaware of the impending danger, remain clueless. Julie senses the shift in atmosphere and realizes the danger. She quickly orders the entire third-year squad to take down Jin-sung. Without hesitation, the whole team charges toward him and tackles him to the ground, ending the showdown abruptly. However, Sung-ho feels disappointed, expressing to Julie that he didn't need protection. She reveals that in the brief moment before they tackled Jin-sung, he managed to attack the entire squad with incredible speed. This attack was so swift that it was invisible to the naked eye. Instead of being terrified, Sung-ho smiles upon realizing this. To Julie's surprise, her armor shatters. It becomes clear that Jin-sung's quick attack wasn't just fast, but also immensely powerful. Not just her armor, but the entire squad's bracelets also break off. As no one witnessed the attack, they assume it was a staff error. Yet the staff seems to be the only one who recognizes Jin-sung's potential. Just as the 5 minutes elapse, Jin-sung appears to return to normal. After the intense battle, Sung-ho approaches Jin-sung and proposes a rematch without any interference. Jin-sung wasn't too happy about it at first. He told Sung-ho that he didn't think it was a good idea, but Sung-ho didn't really listen to him. He just went ahead with his plan. And when the big moment came, the audience was really surprised by what happened. Those second-year students, the ones who were thought to be weaker, they actually won. Nobody saw that coming. Later, there was a meeting at the principal's office. A special person from the government was there, looking through the students' records. When he saw Sung-ho's file, he saw a lot of accomplishments. Sung-ho had done well in a bunch of competitions, but the special person didn't seem too impressed. Sung-ho was only ranked as a B student. Then, the special person looked at Jin-sung's file. It didn't really stand out, but there was something interesting. It said that Jin-sung's parents had died when he was only 8 years old, and because of that, he didn't use his power until later, when he was 10. That got the special person's attention. Most kids use their power, called Edea, when they're around 8. So, this was different. The special person started to wonder if Jin-sung was hiding something. The special person wanted to meet Jin-sung in person to talk about it more. Meanwhile, the principal was also curious about the school. It had become a military school, and the special person didn't give a clear answer about why. He said they were looking for a student who could change their past self. It was all a bit mysterious. What will happen next? Find out next time by staying tuned for our future recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great recaps.